Thomas Jefferson said that when a government can no longer serve its people, that it is the duty of its citizens to rise in revolt.
Yet another video circulating the horrific execution of 12 American hostages.
Tonight, the great North Carolina will sail right into Washington and lay siege upon the Capitol.
Something's wrong. It's going down here.
Think about what you're saying.
Port City's there. Battleship. Check.
I saw what I saw.
You're accusing our town of some kind of homegrown terrorism?
Blood will run through the streets so that this country can be free again.
Let's do this.
He's got an arsenal, man.
What about the battleship?
Ship's here. Okay, we go in, we clear the ship from bottom to top. Let's do it.
Let's go, bro.
For the love of country.
You know I'll be back.
I know that, Dad.
I love you.
I love you more.
Day has finally come when justice shall be served, and a new and greater America will rise from the ashes. Before this night is over, many will perish. Scores will fall.
Prepare to meet your maker, son.
This is Kate Sanderson, horror actress based in the UK. Please check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews. They are awesome.
This is actress Nicola Wright from the UK. Please check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews. They are awesome.
This is actor Stephanie Lodge from the UK. Please check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews. They are awesome.
Hi, this is Simon Phillips. Please check out Gruesome Herzog. He's awesome.
And today's film we're going to talk about is called Checkpoint in 2017. Here's the storyline. Port City, North Carolina. During a routine campout, a local vagrant, a former Marine, discovers plans for an invasion in America. When he tries to notify the local sheriff about his discovery, the sheriff dismisses his claims and has him locked up for loitering. The sheriff's deputy, Nico, notices odd interactions with other townfolk, so he begins to look into the vagrant's story. Directed by Thomas J. Churchill. Written by Thomas J. Churchill and A.J. Perez. Here's the cast. Tyler Mane as Deputy Stacks. Stephen Geoffreys as Grant. Kenny Johnson as Roy. William Forsythe as Sheriff Thomas Hancock. Kane Hodder as Cyrus. Mindy Robinson as Rebecca. The legend Fred Williamson as Chester. Michelle Lee as Susie. Bill Goldberg as TJ. Ricky Harris as Kenny. And Nico Foster as Deputy Parks, and the cast goes on. Here's a movie that surprised me, because during this era, I would review Thomas J. Churchill's horror movies. So I was stuck into the horror genre for many, many, many years. Now I'm trying to spread it out to some action films as well. And this had an all-star cast. Kenny Johnson is from the TV series SWAT. I didn't quite recognize him at first as the Vagrant. Of course, as you mentioned, legendary Bill Goldberg, Stephen Geoffreys from Fright Night, as there's a connection with him and Churchill from his earlier film. The legendary William Forsythe, I met back in 2013, a great guy. Kane Hodder, of course, from the Friday the 13th movies. And rest in peace now, but legendary Fred Williamson as Chester. It was great to see him. And, of course, the other wrestler, Bill Goldberg. And Tyler Mane, as you know, has been around for a while. Some Rob Zombie films, and et cetera, et cetera. Great, great film. I was shocked by this, actually. I watched it for one reason, is because of Bill Goldberg. I wanted to see what he could do. But then I realized that this film had a lot of stars in it. So, story goes, there is some weird shit happening that the Vagrant, Kenny Johnson, actually Stephen Geoffreys from Fright Night, he kind of like went snooping around and he heard some noises and he looks through a peephole in the building and he sees what is going on. And he's the first person to realize there's a possibility of a invasion in America, you know. And his friend Kenny Johnson, they're both homeless, tries to tell him, and he was listening, but he wasn't. And when they had a news broadcast on the TV at a store, he sees his buddy getting beheaded. So now he knows that it is happening right in the same town that they live in. Of course, nobody believed him. He went to William Forsythe, the sheriff, and of course, he didn't believe him. He locks him up for loitering because they think he's going crazy, whatever. But there's a story behind William Forsythe, the sheriff. He's actually behind this invasion. And the movie just goes absolutely nutsoid. His brother was Bill Goldberg. And they finally get together to try and fight to keep this invasion from happening. One of the actors in this movie, like I told you, Fred Williamson, he passed away now. He played Chester. There's a tunnel that is at his house that leads to Washington, D.C. Yes, it's kind of corny, but whatever. And they were going to use that tunnel to invade Washington, D.C. That's what the whole plan was to this whole story is about. Yeah, Ricky Harris is Kenny. He was a restaurant owner. His wife was not who he thought she was. A lot of crazy shit in here. Great cast. Mindy Robinson. You name it. It's a really, really surprisingly good film. I love the fight scenes. Kenny Johnson kicked ass. Goldberg kicked ass. It's a really cool film. Then when it got to Fred Williamson's house, that's when all the gunfire started. And there was some surprise deaths in this film that kind of threw me off. But when you watch it, it makes sense. But that being said, this is Gruesome Herzog. I give this film an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. Definitely check it out. It's available everywhere. Checkpoint 2017. I'm out of here.